And thank you to today's witnesses to join the subcommittee's discussion on Aviation 2050. However, I do want to start today by acknowledging the tragedy of Sunday's crash of Ethiopian Airlines Flight 302 near Addis Ababa, Ethiopia. 8 Americans and 21 United Nations employees were among the 157 people who died in the crash. Chair DeFazio, committee staff, and I have been in contact with the National Transportation Safety Board, the Federal Aviation Administration, and Boeing about the accident, and we continue to closely monitor the investigation. I want committee members to know a couple things. First, at the NTSB, the U.S. accredited representative and lead for the United States will assist and is assisting Ethiopian authorities in this investigation and currently has people in Ethiopia. Right now, the important thing is that relevant agencies are allowed to conduct a thorough and careful investigation. The Ethiopian Accident Investigations Bureau is the lead on this investigation with support from NTSB and others. Second, the FAA and Boeing as well have personnel in Ethiopia to assist the investigation. Third, the FAA issued a continued airworthiness notification to the international community yesterday stating pilots should continue to use Boeing's operational safety protocols as previously directed following the Lion Air crash, and American carriers must install design changes no later than April 2019. The notification does not currently call for the grounding of the 737 MAX fleet. I encourage all members to monitor the situation themselves, and I want you to know that staff is available to any member for any questions that you have surrounding the investigation and can provide updates to you as they become available. Now on with my statement for the hearing. Certainly with safety as a guiding principle for this subcommittee, I look forward to spending time exploring what is on the horizon for aviation and aerospace. For this subcommittee, Aviation and Aerospace 2050 means fostering technological innovation and improving the nation's competitiveness in the global marketplace. One of the reasons we're holding this hearing is because we want to set the record for the subcommittee for the future. Today's witnesses represent several of the emerging entrants in the national airspace, from unmanned aircraft to passenger air vehicles and supersonic flight. I'm also very pleased that current users are at the table. You will all play a vital role in the discussion on how to safely integrate these new technologies in our national airspace. As we discuss the possibilities for aviation and aerospace in the next 30 years, Congress must also ensure the U.S. remains a global safety standard in flight. Last fall, Congress passed the longest Federal Aviation Administration reauthorization in decades. The bipartisan 5-year agreement supports important aerospace jobs across the U.S., as well as better prepares and diversifies the aviation workforce. The new law raises the bar on aviation safety, increases global competitiveness of domestic aerospace manufacturers and suppliers, and safely advances drone operations in U.S. airspace. With the FAA bill as a foundation, the subcommittee can now look ahead to explore not only what is possible and on the horizon in aviation and aerospace, but what is needed to ensure the U.S. keeps innovating. One area we will continue to see tremendous growth is in unmanned aircraft systems, or UAS, or drones. UAS are flourishing in the skies at a pace we did not imagine 10 years ago. The FAA estimates that the use of small hobbyist drones will double in size to more than 3 million units by 2022, and commercial drone fleet will quadruple to approximately 450,000 units in that same time frame. There's no denying the extensive societal and commercial benefits of unmanned aircraft and their applications. Drones are used to perform critical infrastructure inspections of bridges and railroads and assist in recovery efforts following natural disasters and wildfires. With new and advanced operations aiming to take flight, several issues need to be explored. Inherent in the growth of this technology are the risks to critical assets like airports. And while we want UAS integration to be efficient, we must ensure it is safe. Just skipping ahead, on supersonic, because of the advancements in technology, materials, and manufacturing, supersonic aircraft are on the horizon. Actually, they're back on the horizon. These flights can cut transoceanic traveling times in half, supporting passengers and international business. The U.S. does not yet have the regulatory framework to allow supersonic flight, and Congress must stay ahead of the curve, or this may lead to missed opportunities. One question you might answer in today's testimony is, how is this different than what is currently available? Foreign airlines are already investing in a U.S. supersonic aircraft company. Last year's FAA reauthorization directs the agency to exercise leadership in the creation of federal regs and standards relating to the certification and safe and efficient operation of civil supersonic aircraft. The FAA says it will initiate 2 rulemaking activities on civil supersonic aircraft. Congress must ensure these initiatives stay on track. And I look forward to hearing from today's witness about the potential benefits of supersonic transport and the challenges we have to address to ensure their safe and appropriate integration of technology. With timely input from new entrants and legacy users, U.S. Aviation will be able to tailor products and services to better meet growing passenger demands and address local challenges such as noise and greenhouse gas emissions. 2 weeks ago, the Transportation Infrastructure Committee held a hearing about pragmatic solutions to address the impacts of climate change, as well as the aviation industry's role in these efforts. The aviation industry has already committed to improving fuel efficiency by 1.5% per year, which began in 2010, achieving carbon neutral growth starting next year, and cutting net carbon dioxide emissions by 50% by 2050. I've had a chance to visit a few of these companies in my district at the forefront of innovative, energy-efficient aviation technology. For example, Zunum Aero in Bothell, Washington, is developing a hybrid electric aircraft capable of flying up to 12 people between 350 and 500 miles. The company aims to bring the aircraft to market as soon as 2022. Zunum projects its electrical propulsion prototype will cut community and cabin noise by an estimated 75% and emissions by 80%. And finally, the future of work. Emerging tech advances in U.S. aviation are only possible if Congress invests and supports the next generation of engineers, mechanics, and innovators. Unfortunately, the U.S. is not keeping pace with growing demands for talented individuals in the STEM fields. According to the Boston Consulting Group, there are 25,000 unfilled STEM jobs in Washington State alone, just in one state. Last year's FAA bill includes a comprehensive workforce development title, including my provision to create a new task force to come up with ways to encourage high school students to enroll in aviation manufacturing, maintenance, and engineering apprenticeships. The bill also creates 2 new grant programs to support pilot education and recruit aviation maintenance workers. Improving access to workforce training and preparing students to succeed is an all-around win for employers, job seekers, and the aviation and aerospace sectors. U.S. innovation is a backbone of the nation's economy and culture, and Aviation 2050 is the next chapter in our leadership in this field. Communities have already seen and experienced the significant impact of emerging technologies, and we must prepare for what is to come. The future of U.S. aviation and aerospace industries is bright, but Congress must play an important role to ensure the FAA takes steps to outline today in a timely manner so U.S. companies can continue to innovate and remain globally competitive. So again, I thank you. To today's witnesses. I look forward to the discussion, and I call on Ranking Member of the Subcommittee, Mr. Graves, for an opening.